feels kind of willing to party on. There's 4 guys in a car in the 2012 Mazda CX-5. So this has Skyactive, so that's an interesting thing.
Now, is that like Mercedes-Benz Magic Sky Control?
No.
Or I get these confused.
No. Skyactive is like an integrated chassis and engine system where it's all designed to save fuel.
So Mazda's not doing any hybrids or electric vehicles in the near future. Their thinking is, up until 2020, most people are still going to use gas or diesel-powered cars like we are now. So their theory is, well, why don't we try and build the most efficient version of the modern car? So they decided to do that through lightweight and efficient engines, basically. That's Skyactive.
I think it's sort of cool that Mazda's decided to step up and say, you know what, guys, we can still make internal combustion gasoline engines better. Like, there's still room for improvement.
Yeah, and I think the interesting thing with the CX-5 is all this Skyactive fuel-saving tech. What it really means is, over the life of a vehicle, compared with its competitors, the 24 other crossovers you could buy, you will save money with the Skyactiv CX-5.
How so?
Because you'll spend less on gas. It's like, in the real world, it's by far the most efficient crossover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, by the time you factor in purchase price, lifetime running costs, this is probably the cheaper option than getting a more expensive hybrid at today's gasoline prices, but who knows where they'll be in 5 years.
Mazda's not winning any horsepower wars. I mean, it's only about 150, 155 horsepower.
Right.
It's a pretty small engine. But again, you don't need excesses of power to move this thing because it is so light.
Straight stretch of road, 4 guys in a car, and 150 horsepower. We're at 40K now. Ready?
Ugh.
Yeah, that's...
It's kind of slow.
Yeah, kind of slow.
If you want all-out performance, Ford Escape. Get that EcoBoost engine, go like crazy. Whereas this is much more of a miser.
Well, I think if you're realistic about your driving, and you don't go for the power of something like that 2-liter EcoBoost, and you're rational about the way you drive, then this isn't a bad way to go.
One of the drawbacks of Skyactiv is because Mazda is so hell-bent on keeping the cars light, you end up with a lack of sound deadening in the car. So you will notice in a CX-5, especially on the highway, that it is noticeably louder inside than competitors like the Honda or the Ford Escape or something like that.
Said if you're coming from a CR-V or a RAV4 or a mainstream crossover from a generation ago, it's actually not louder than any of those vehicles were. It's just that the new ones are so much quieter.
Yeah.
And so much heavier. Well, I've got lots of room. It's comfortable back here. They've actually scalloped out the ceiling for a little extra headroom, and it's good. It's comfortable. It's a little bit narrow. I feel a little bit closer to Brian than I'm comfortable
that's
with.
Because I've been getting close to you.
Exactly. He's leaning this
there's
way.
There's a lot of room here.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of the materials on this? Some people say it's a little bit cheap, but I don't know. I think it's okay.
I like how plain and functional it is. I mean, it's got storage cubbies and everything's kind of at hand, and Mazda said that they look to their own MX-5 for inspiration for the interior. I mean, this is definitely not a sports car interior, but it does sort of have that keep everything close to the driver, relatively small wheel, analog dials. I like it. It's a little bit bassist.
Yeah,
it's really simple and straightforward, and there's really nothing wrong with that. I mean, there's nothing quite like hopping in a car and being able to understand everything. So a base CX-5 is $23,000. This is the GT model, I believe.
Yes.
This is the GT model, and it's $32,645.
See, now that's impressive because this has navigation, a backup camera, HID headlights, all-wheel drive, which is a lot of the features that the Ford Escape has, although the Ford also offers things like it can park itself, and it has cross traffic, but this has blind spot assist too, and it's about 10 grand less than the Ford. So